And dear friends, we continue working. Then the next topic is the presentation of the exhibition, a movement for Belarusian art. So I invite here Anya Medvedeva, Communications Director at the IZOLIATSIYA Foundation. Good afternoon, indeed. Next Thursday, this Thursday, on 31st of March, we are going to open this exhibition, ZBOR, Movement for Belarusian Art, and we're going to communicate with some of the people here, with Aleksey Luniov, artist from Belorussian, and Andrey Dureiko, curator exhibition. Why this exhibition is very important for cultural institution, why this exhibition is going to be of interest to Ukrainian visitors. It's no secret that in Belarus there is some kind of public official course, and the society in Belarus not always develops in conformity with this course. And the same processes we witness in Ukraine. So we can say that in Ukraine and Belarusian societies there are two very similar trends. So we put ourselves a question of national identification, cultural identification, and of course this is reflected in the arts. The art which you're going to see at this exhibition is kind of intermediary or tentative result, because I hope that this process is going to continue. This was prepared by the bearers of the free and official art, the artists, and you will see the best works of art created up to this date, and also you will have a chance to understand how the Belarusian arts develop, what are the major trends there on the one hand. On the other hand, you can understand what are the major components of the Belarusian society. Actually, we are talking about this art as a unique phenomenon, because many Belarusian artists leave the country because they found better chances for them for their development, for their work, but they do not, let's say, sever the ties with their country. And there are some young artists who actually keep in pace with the contemporaneity, and they develop their artistic techniques. And actually the free art, actually the process which can demonstrate how this exchange of knowledge, energy, and new technologies makes it possible for this specific direction in art to further develop. It should be noted as well for the IZOLIATSIYA Foundation that this exhibition is another chance to discuss the need for launching a similar project in Ukraine, because we have some separate studies, researches, and separate trends, epochs, etc. We would like to have some collaboration, so that the studies which have been already carried out, especially including those which were carried out by the IZOLIATSIYA Foundation, be based on some expert findings. The project which could demonstrate what is Ukrainian art today and how it has been developed over the last period of time. Last year we opened the Revizia exhibition where we demonstrated the Belarusian artists' works, and Andrey Dureiko was with us at that time, who provided a review of the development of Belarusian arts. I paid attention to the artistic work of Aleksey Luniov, my acquaintance, who actually left Minsk. Andrei also left Minsk, and he moved to Düsseldorf, Germany, and he represents the group of the artists who actually left the country, but they never stopped their connections with Belarus. So I'd like to turn the mic to Andrei to say why they preserved those ties and what was behind the idea to launch this project. Andrey Dureiko is my name. To us, Belarusian artists, actually, this is a normal process, and it has never been stopped or terminated. It has some of the traditions for over 100 years now. It's associated with modernist art and all those processes which start in Vitebsk, and the development of the avant-garde art. Unfortunately, we were fortunate they were started, but very quickly they were replaced by the Soviet conservative trends. and Nice left the country. Many other countries followed suit. An example which was always important to us is Struminsky, another Belarusian artist who managed to organize the first Belarusian art exhibition in Lodz, Poland, and this dream of the museum for the whole century pursued us and actually became unimplemented or unrealized on the territory of Belarus. And for all those long period of time, there were a lot of talks, and one of the calls over the last few years was by Sergey Kiriuschenko. He was talking about the need to set up such a museum at this stage, and since we are in no way are some public segment, just I mean not the governmental segment, just the broad public one. And we couldn't find some investments for this project, and we had to take care of the theoretical basis. And the whole exhibition we are talking about is just a part of the project which we would like to demonstrate to you in the future, and also the future museum. We actually developed this theoretical foundation, and to start, we were thinking about some virtual museum, a museum which could be kind of ideal, proceeding from those things or analysis we carried out over the last 25 years at least. That's why we proposed, Sergey Shabuk and Sergey Kiriuschenko proposed a special forum to stop the collector portal, and it has been growing and up to date. It's kind of a number of essays, or in this is the modern encyclopedia of the modern Belarusian art. And this portal, the basis for this exhibition. When we started this project 1 year ago, we did not even dream that this will be developed in such a kind of an avalanche type of way. And the next stage of this exhibition, we're going to take it to Lodz and Berlin, and we are happy that the potential. This idea has a potential for development. Anything else? I believe it will be interesting for you to know that we had some kind of expert council, and you were you said that the best works of arts were selected, and to which extent you actually took into consideration the nomenclature art representatives of Belarus. This is not the first attempt to analyze the situation available. In the previous project, Zero Radius, it was entitled Shparag, Oksana Zirovska. That was an attempt on the mixed situation to analyze the available trends, and then this mixed process involved a bigger circle of experts and curators. But at a certain stage, X, it demonstrated, as you say, nomenclature segment or more official. Many of those actually denied or refused to participate in that because they believed they were facing some risks. I don't know what the reasons are behind that. Maybe different ones, but we thought if we started again to cooperate that closely, then maybe the project will take a lot of time, its development, or it will again face the impossibility to further realize it. But at the level of the critical articles, this actually we selected for this project 40 projects, and all and a lot of the big essays are dedicated to each of those projects, including some official, let's say, art critics or whatever else. But if we're talking about the selection, we are talking about more or less a group of people, if not like-minded people, but at least they all are orientated to modern art and the progressive way of thinking. Thank you. I would like to invite here Maksym Tyminko, another curator of the exhibition in Kyiv. Andrey, I already mentioned that this exhibition already was on display in Białystok, now in Kyiv. Then before that, we went to Poland. What was the opinion of the local visitors in Poland? And is there any manifesto, Good afternoon. In fact, the first place that exhibition was Białystok. That was kind of the first showing of this exhibition Belostuk, and the general concept we pursued collection and the construction of the archive. So the idea actually was in order for the first time ever to demonstrate the archives, the documentation of the art, which generally speaking in principle, maybe even non-existent any longer, or was on display just a few times, or very rarely. And this is a rare case for Belarusia to give this kind of really big cross-section of our heritage over the last 25 years. Here in Kyiv, we decided, since the project has been developed, we decided to shift the topic from the archives to our outlook into the future. That's why this topic of movement and manifesto of the movement is very important to us within the framework of this project. Actually, we are talking here more about that, okay, speaking in principle, that the modern art is very difficult to collect or document. It's not the situation pertaining only to Belarus. It's kind of the global problem. We are talking about the problem associated with mass media, perforative practice, etc. So we would like to raise this question or to start the discussion about, in general speaking, about the dynamics or archiving or creating the history of modern art. Understood. Are there any works around this exhibition which resonate with the events in Ukraine? Because we know that the civil society in Belarus supports a lot. Whatever happens in Ukraine, starting from the revolution of dignity all the way up to some positive transformations we have here. So it would be interesting to see some of the works of art which would show the response of the people, artists of Belarus to those events. Maybe we cannot talk about some direct association with those events, because, you know, this is kind of historical cross-section over the 25 years period of time. But there are a lot of activist type of works, so political, let's say, flavor. And of course, the Belarusian artists are more interested in the situation available in Belarus. For example, Denis Limonov, with his letter to the Prosecutor General of Belarus regarding the terroristic acts in subway, in the metro, which took place back in 2011. That was really a very resounding action, and still in Belarus we still have the capital punishment. We would like to have some kind of transparency or comprehensiveness, let's say. That was really a very resounding case, specifically if you're talking about those two people who were arrested without any court session or any investigation, and they were actually shot. They were killed, shot to death. And that kind of this kind of the blossom, like Lehman or the Linden, and they actually wrote that they were themselves the executors of this, or behind this terrorist act or acts. They actually would like to draw attention of the people to this kind of the cases of lack of law, whatever else. We also have Marina Marushkina, who lives now in Berlin, but who remains to be very active or proactive player in, so to say, activist movement in the arts. And now we have a very big time presentation of her newspaper, some other works. For the Slippery Sweetly Indian Blossom, everything was okay. Well, actually, they ran away from the country, some of them to Russia. So this group has been dissolved, I mean, but not by anybody. from within. You know, it's not just some kind of stupid jokes or whatever else. Okay, thank you. Now I would like to give the mic to Aleksey Luniov, and like Maksym, Andrey, you know, Andrey lives in Düsseldorf and Maksym in Amsterdam. I mean, Alexei remained in Minsk, and so my question is how you managed to cooperate with the artists who represent the official segment. Good afternoon, thank you for your question. It seems to me I represent here also, I cooperate very closely with the private gallery Minsk Ledove, which has been in existence for 7 years now. Actually, slowly and gradually, it became a kind of cultural platform, which is let's say, the platform for different educational programs, international or local exhibitions of the works of young artists. And I can talk mostly about my gallery. This gallery is not closed in no way. We are open to cooperation with some kind of the public, I mean, governmental institutions. Moreover, from time to time, in this way or another, they are involved in our joint collaboration our joint collaboration. And Belarus is the unique country, as you aptly mentioned, maybe not really unique or something similar to Ukraine, where the society is separated from the state. And maybe it would be better so that the state machinery do not pay too much attention was going on in the society, because 20 years of Lukashenko's rule is a bit too much, and everybody we started to fight against him or struggle with his, but just to be involved in their own cause or actions. Also, you actually communicate to Andrei Maksym. If we just depart from topic of culture or art, the Lukashenko regime is actually develops waves after wave. There was some kind of, let's say, some kind of aggravation. Sometimes it's kind of softening period of time. How it reflects on the art, I would say in no way. As regards my activities and activities of my colleagues, we just do not pay any attention to that. Of course, it's impossible to not pay attention to some things like terrorist actions or acts, or when people are declared missing or they are, let's say, incarcerated. It causes some kind of feeling depression among our artists, the people who have this kind of subtle psychiatric or psychological mind. There were some attempts to draw attention on part of the government to some of the things associated with culture, and the story of Venetian Biennale came to my mind when, again, Belarus was not or did not participate in this very important, let's say, exhibition, or let's say, in our show, and actually our artists would like to do something about that, and we organized Biennale in Minsk, and the government actually paid attention to that. And next Venetian Biennale already had some representatives of Belarus, but it was so unprofessional organized. But so I believe I would prefer it never happened. You know, we have some similar things. Ukraine also is represented at the Venetian Biennale of the Fine Arts almost regularly. We last year we got some kind of a partisan, so to say, approach. We would like just to draw attention to what's going on in our territory in Donbass. So we depicted the green creatures, and we actually invited everybody to invite our pavilion. And of course, our target was the Russian Federation pavilion, where they tried to oust us from. But we were involved in this action, and this this step inspired us a lot. As soon as we came to know about that, we posted on all our Facebook pages. We were happy, and we called each other, and we asked each other, "Did you hear what the ZBOR Foundation did, and what the great guys they are? Thank you very much for your assessment." I do not have any other questions. The exhibition is going on display till May 6th. We are going to open this Thursday on 1800. Always we are going, as always, we are going to talk a lot about the Russian arts and answer questions beyond the scope of the artistic world. So our program is being prepared, but we are going to publish it on our website. Thank you very much. Actually, that was my question. I was going to ask you. Thank you very much for coming here. We had a very interesting discussion. Once again, thank you. A lot of luck. I would wish you luck with this exhibition and some other and other projects as well. Thank you. Thank you.